Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Friday, September 21st at 10:09 p.m. Mountain Time 2018. What you're looking at is the central Greenland temperatures for the last 4,000 years. Now, paleoclimatologists and geologists the world around have known that global temperatures have been dropping for thousands of years. In fact, for over 4,000 years. And anyone claiming that the Earth is burning up using a data set starting at 1979 on has got a real big problem. Because they don't look at the facts that have been uncovered in the recent decades about the nature of our Earth and ice ages, the nature of climatic forcing and solar forcing specifically. And each and every day we gain a better insight into how solar forcing controls everything in the solar system and on our planet specifically. Now, let's get to the update. Cape Fear normal here. And this is just 48 hours ago. You can see the water has come up tens of feet. This is the same bridge, folks. That's catastrophic flooding. 1,000-year flood. Florence's floodwaters breached defenses at Duke Energy Plant, sending toxic coal ash into the river. Mark my words. I posted a video earlier today explaining how they were obfuscating from the truth that this is actually toxic waste being dumped in the water, and now the headlines are matching my reporting. With floodwaters continuing to rise in the wake of Hurricane Florence, state officials and environmentalists are closely monitoring a breach of a dam that has flooded a hazardous stockpile of coal ash, some of which has spilled into the Cape Fear River. Now, this is laden with heavy metals and other things that we're not aware of that they may have put in there with it. On Friday, Duke Energy shut down a power plant near Wilmington after a dam breach between 100 and 200 feet wide at the southern end of Sutton Lake allowed floodwaters to swamp two basins containing huge stockpiles of arsenic-laced ash. And we're not talking apple seeds, folks. Toxic levels that's going to be in the soil and in the groundwater. Now, that's not only the only worry. This coming out today from the state. Did Hurricane Florence driven flood poison Cherall neighborhood? Feds are investigating currently in Cherall. Mud spattered and exhausted from cleaning up after a major flood. Barbara Bullard Mims scowled as she thought about the brown sediment-filled water that poured into her house last weekend. Do you know why? Because she lives right across the street from a Superfund site. Federal Superfund cleanup site that flooded last weekend during Florence, potentially spreading contamination in other land and creeks in the area. Now, this site is undergoing a federal cleanup effort because it is so polluted, and it rests in a densely populated neighborhood, which is now potentially a Superfund site. Not good. And this is just buried under the headlines of the other Duke plant. National Hurricane Center monitoring for disturbances in the Atlantic as forecasters remind that hurricane season is far from over. It just peaked last week. First week of September is the peak. And so we're right in the thick of it. High risk of excessive rainfall, flash flooding for parts of northern Texas and southern Oklahoma. Not just hurricanes. We're still fluxed. And the cosmic rays will continue to increase for the rest of your lifetime. Yeah. I hope you're picking it up. Because I am putting it down. And that's boom. Ow! Yeah. Sometimes you just got to nail it. Heavy rainfall and flash flood threats shift from the southern plains to the lower Mississippi Valley, elevated to critical fire concerns out west. Heavy to excessive rainfall with flash flooding concerns will shift from the southern plains to the lower Mississippi Valley, elevated to critical fire weather threats will linger through the weekend across the Great Basin and Central Rockies. Finally, major to record river flooding will continue in the portions of the Midwest and parts across of North and South Carolina here in the fluorescent green or chartreuse, however you like to put it. Severe thunderstorms totally fluxing the region. Large hail and destructive tornado hits Ottawa. This is Canada, and it looks like Armageddon. 85,000 homes without power. Severe thunderstorms accompanied with large hail and destructive tornadoes swept through eastern Ontario and into Quebec during the afternoon of September 21st. The storm left widespread power outages, 3 seriously injured people, one of which in critical, more than 60 damaged homes. Several homes completely destroyed. 6 dead and missing after major flash floods. Flux, Culiacan, Mexico. That guy's trunk is open. Must have been taking out the groceries. Hotham. This is coming out from Fraud News, apparently. Hotter than normal fall on the horizon. Environment Canada. What the are they talking about? Hotter than normal fall. Ow! Do it again. One more time. Again. Hotter than normal fall on the horizon. Do they know that record snows are falling in Canada and it's freezing in over half of the continent? Parts of Alberta record their snowiest September ever. I'm not making this up. Someone else apparently is. Brutally cold September air and bouts of heavy snow gave parts of Alberta the first widespread measured snowfall event last week. The city of Edmonton experienced its snowiest September on record with 22 centimeters reported in total this month, smashing the previous record of 12.9 by almost doubling it. And that goes back to 1965, the solar minimum before the relatively weak cycle 20. Right here. And that's a boom. To solar science. It hurts sometimes when you have to learn through repetition. And there is more snow on the way. An approaching cold front has the potential to bring the biggest snowfall amounts so far this month. What is Environment Canada talking about? Here, extreme fall weather warning alert is issued for Quebec. An intense cold front is on its way. Wow, it seems to be getting hotter than ever this autumn. What are they talking about? Have they heard that heavy ice halted Northwest Passage trips for Ponant Par? Yes. Exceptional ice conditions forced a bunch of idiots to abandon their Northwest Passage expeditions. That's because it's not hot up there. Record ice. There has been so much ice there since 2004. On and on. Read about it. That's called facts. Apparently, mainstream media does not want to know about it. Storm Bruna, second named storm to hit UK in as many days. Whew. They love to name these storms. Heavy snow warning. UK faces coldest winter for a decade. Ow! You fucking fraud. When I find you, I need a vacation. UK faces coldest winter for a decade. Shock long-range weather forecast. Britain is facing the coldest and harshest winter for almost a decade, with heavy early snowfall threatening to blanket the nation by Christmas. He didn't even wear a tie. That's how frustrated he is. Either that was casual Friday. Arctic downpours could arrive as soon as November before the country is plunged into a 4-month whiteout, with the battle between the Atlantic and Arctic triggering devastating ice storms. Now, it's our prediction that this will not just be the coldest winter for a decade, but this will be the coldest winter for 5 decades. I'm just going to go out on a limb. Seismic update, no quakes of note, but we are in a seismic uptick. Lithospheric warning. We just couple with the coronal hole. I just checked the space weather. I don't have it up, and if we have bandwidth and time, we'll get to it. But nothing of note except the Galapagos region here, 5.7. And we're waiting for some uptick here in the Fiji region. U.S. quake 3.2, Montpelier, Idaho. And here we have ADAC rocking in the Aleutians, just kicking off moments ago, 4.6. Discovery of mummified penguin chicks provides clues to catastrophic weather events in the Antarctic, according to scientists. Now, they just found these. Now, look at these little buggers just sitting here. Now, these mummified penguins died from freezing to death. And it has everything to do with the sun. They found a whole grouping 700 years ago here during this drop down, and a whole grouping 200 years ago during this drop down in the Dalton minimum. So the beginning of the Maunder and the Little Ice Age, or the Sporer minimum here, and the Dalton minimum, huge penguin losses. And we're about to see more huge penguin losses into the Eddy minimum, which is another drop down, based on science and historical facts. Come check it out. There is more and more science coming out on exactly what's happening. Check out the global blue sun solar anomaly during the Sporer minimum. It's true. The sun will turn blue. Just like the sun sets blue on Mars, it will set blue in the U.S. It has to do with volcanic activity and forest fires. Come check out Willie soon talking about facts and science in this amazing video that just got put out, a talk he did in 2018 where he talks about the facts on solar science. It gets deep into it, and I'm going to show you and share with you some of the links from this video. Come check it out for yourself. He directly correlates the sun to earthquakes, shutting down specifically. He directly correlates the sun to increased cosmic rays, which result in empires falling and crop loss and famine and blue suns. And give him a thumbs up over here at DDP Meetings. Tell him Oppenheimer Ranch sent you. Subscribe to the channel. Give him a thumbs up. That's all I can say. This is some of the most cutting edge 59 minutes you'll ever watch. Now, he discusses a friend that he is a colleague of who happily sent us full documentation of his most recent paper and some older papers I'm going to share with you right now. Thank you, Willie Soon and colleagues, including this, which is a PDF for you to look at, possible relationships between solar activity and meteorological phenomenon. Back in 73, they knew what was going on. It's like Leak Project over here. And here at 74, another document, relationship between solar activity and climate change. This is all documents that I found at NASA. Aha! Can you believe these frauds? At NASA, those two documents are from NASA. In 1973 and 74, they knew what was going on. So did the natives. They knew what was going on. Now here's the paper that Willie Soon's colleague shared with us, coming out in New Astronomy. Reconstructions and prediction of the total solar irradiance from the medieval warm into the 21st century. Velasco Herrera, Mendoza. And just click on View File. And you know what you get? The full paper. I don't know if I have the bandwidth to get it. There it is. Look, it says Wang right there. I mean, this is a good time, this paper. And what you're going to get is lots of interesting equations, and you're going to see predictions out into the future here, which are not very good. Because we're definitely entering a grand minima. The modern minimum. And what does that mean for you? It means you need to start preparing now. If you want to survive and thrive in the future, based on historical documentation, there will be volcanic eruptions. The sun will turn blue. There will be crop loss and famine. And you will be totally fluxed. This is the predictive area. You see where that's going? Do you see where this is going? Right here? I hope you do. Sporer, Maunder, Dalton, Eddy. Boom. It hurts. Science hurts sometimes. The facts are the facts. Are you prepared? Come over to Oppenheimer Ranch Project store over the weekend. pick up some grow lights, and check out the new sections that I'll be putting up over the next 48 hours. But tonight I'm going to share with you some special links. Every night we're going to have special links that benefit the channel for awesome products that are leading the field in what you need to go at. And here is the Finither hydroponic growing system. For those of you that are in apartments or high rises that don't think you can do it, this is your own self-sustained hydroponic system. You can start sprouting your own food, growing your own herbs or medicine right in your own home. It's self-contained, 4.5 stars, free shipping. It has a light, the pumps, the water, everything to get you started in understanding advanced hydroponics, which is not very advanced. Multifunction lights, perfect design reading light, help plants grow up to three lightness settings, 360 rotation, sensitive touch control, blah, blah, blah. Do it. Help yourself, help the channel. Check out the link below. We also have the Aero Garden Harvest with Gourmet Herb Seed pod kit. This is a bigger unit, does the same thing, and it's digital. For about $100, you can have 6 different plants growing right in your basement. Get 10 of these, whatever you want. It's up to you. This is your introductory level, self-contained hydroponic unit. Lights, pumps, water, no soil, seeds and go. Now, let's talk about tomorrow. Leaving in the morning to Suncowie Prehistoric Site, which is one of the most uninvestigated areas in North America for good reason. From my investigation, I believe this is an antediluvian culture. This is an ancient culture which existed well before the floods of 11,500 years ago. Just look at the weathering here from the inside of one of their dwellings or structures. Absolutely amazing. And we're going to be out there, Rex and I, Rex Bear League Project, and Diamond from the Oppenheimer Ranch Project are going to do some investigation at this very important prehistoric site that is completely been avoided by the mainstream. Why? No one knows. It has definitely a cosmic connection. And during the autumnal equinox, we believe that there will be some light rays or shafts that we're going to find at 7:55 p.m. during sunset that will blow ours and your minds. This is the outside of that dwelling. You can see the immense amount of weathering. And this is in the desert. So clearly, when did this weathering occur? Here's some holes for some type of a roof structure here. This was a complex. And look at some of these other carved out areas. Absolutely crazy. Not only that, the petroglyphs there are of the remarkable type, like creatures with antlers, and I can't wait. We're going to be cataloging all of these demons and devils and hopefully get a little insight on what's going on. Here I want to show you what mainstream archaeology says is happening at Suncowie, that these are trails that are carved by humans, like lanes in and out of the area. This would take hundreds of thousands of people side by side to carve this type, groove this. Anyway, we're going to be out there all day tomorrow, checking it out. And it's going to be some good shows. We both have new cameras. Now, let's talk about some more interesting science. The science that has been in front of all of the Earth scientists for decades. The Greenland Ice Cores. Now, climatologists do not look at this. This is a new science started within the last decade based on CO2 as actually contributing to warming on Earth. A completely false premise. So all you climatologists out there, sorry, your degrees are useless, which most degrees since the 90s have been useless anyway, because 90% of those people are working at the mini mart or selling shit on eBay. If you cannot see the pattern here, you're blind. If you're not preparing, you're wasting time. We want each and every one of you to understand the science behind the shifts that are happening right now, real time. And this is just one piece of the puzzle. As total solar irradiance wanes, climate will change. But as the magnetosphere wanes, completely independent of the sun, cosmic rays increase, causing epic flooding, cloud nucleation, and it's anybody's guess how this minimum will differ from these previous minimums that ended empires, except that it's going to be worse than the last three. Be safe.